are sorority, and we're striving. We have to work. Sometimes we have to cry. We have to cry. We have to hold on to alpha, and we'll keep all together till we die.
Hello guys, this is Simone56, continuing with my series, part 4 of A Serious Matter, Alpha Kappa Alpha and the Idolatry of Sorority Membership. In my last video, I talked about the experience of pledging Alpha Kappa Alpha, not the initiation, but the pledge process, the underground process of which I took part. But there was an afterlife to that, and for one, I want to clarify something. I don't feel the need to go into depth about every part of my Greek life. It was essential for me to explain pledging to you because it is all part, the initiation, the pledging, it is all part of the yoke of bondage which is put on each member of the sorority. Now, mind you, there are members of Alpha Kappa Alpha who do not participate in the underground hazing pledge process. But they all have participated in the ritual. But yet you still have people who they may not have participated in the ritual, but I also wanted to make you aware of another phenomenon of members who participate in an underground pledging process. However, they are not members of the organization because they have not participated in a recognized ritual by the national headquarters. We call these people renegades or ghosts because they have chosen to undergo the underground process. However, they may not have been recognized as members of the sorority or a fraternity as of yet. And the plan is to get them to go and become official members and go through the initiation process. However, most of the time they're being recognized as members of the organization already by locals who have seen them online and know they pledged. I just wanted to add that in there because that is a part of the pledging culture that renegades and ghosts are running around. Another incident I am compelled to tell you guys about, and if you have not already heard of, right after I crossed in 2002 in the summertime, there were two young women who were allegedly involved in the pledging activities that I told you guys about in part 3 out in California. And these women were allegedly pledging the Sigma chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, which is located at California State, Los Angeles. When this happened, there were two women involved, Kenethia Saphir and Kristen High. Kenethia Saphir, Kristen High, and others were allegedly pledging. Now, if you ask me my opinion of what happened to these women and what I heard during that time, most definitely, in my humble opinion, those women were participating in an illegal hazing process, and most likely members of Alpha Kappa Alpha were involved. This is my opinion, and it is not fact. It has not been proven. Let me make that clear. But if you ask Simone56 her opinion, I will tell you that I believe that they were participating in activities that I outlined in part 3. Now, they were apparently at the Dockweiler Beach in California and participating in this unity ritual. I don't know exactly what they were doing or alleged to be doing, but because of this ritual, that it was high tide, the tides had overcome one of the pledges, Kenethia Saphir. Now, it is alleged that they bound the hands of these women together and tied them together with their other, and sometime after 10 p.m. that night, they were driven to Dockweiler Beach. They were still blindfolded, but they told them to go walk into the water. I don't understand why anyone would put their members in such danger, but knowing the intensity of the pledge process, I can see something like this occurring. There were two lawsuits brought by both families. Alpha Kappa Alpha settled this lawsuit out of court, and it highly bothered me as a member about the sorority's official response to this. I remember reading it and I was like, hold up. These are people that are dead. These are people that are gone. That they done went on to go to heaven or hell, wherever God would have them to go. And all you can say, or we can say as a sorority is that, oh, well, you know, there's been speculation about this incident. However, we want to remind you that there is no chapter of AKA at California State University, Los Angeles. As you may recall, we suspended the local chapter more than 2 years ago over minor pledging infractions. Just to reiterate what I said, and like I said, I go on opinion. This is Simone 5-6's opinion. This is not necessarily fact, because Alpha Kappa Alpha settled out of court, and I'm really just not afraid to say what I know I need to say. Look, it is very obvious by the testimony of the husband and the mother of the victims there that obviously there were some inappropriate activities going on with that chapter. And yes, they were suspended over minor pledging infractions, but guess what? They're still AKAs. Okay? And because I mentioned the incident with ghost members, obviously it sounds like to me, in my humble opinion, that these women were being pledged to be ghost members until the chapter came back. It is a popular practice in this sorority and in fraternities that when a chapter is suspended, that the underground pledging continues even though the chapter isn't officially recognized by the organization. But when the chapter comes back, those same individuals go and apply for membership, whether it be the undergraduate chapter or whether it be the grad chapter, and they rep the specific chapter of which pledged them regardless of why they came in. I know sorority members who came in the graduate level and are members of so-and-so Omega chapter, however rep an undergrad chapter, which they were never officially a part of, however the undergraduate chapter pledged them. So that's what they rep. I know it because I've seen it and it's been done. And this is the way the sorority protects itself, because they'll say, oh, well, you know, but we suspended that chapter 2 years ago, so there were no official activities taking place then. But what about all the members that were members of that sorority in that city? You think they just went and sat somewhere? You think they just went and they cried in a corner and they forgot that they were AKAs? They did not. Okay? In my humble opinion, they did not. I also have a beef with the line sisters of these particular young women. And I said to myself, how can you be human and you know that 2 members of your line passed away and they died? Guess what? All bets will be off as far as I'm concerned. I'm telling on everybody, because there's no way that somebody's life is more important than you getting into AKA. But everybody who kept quiet, the people who were involved, whether it was the big sisters or whether you were a line sister, you were actually not your sister's keeper. You, because of your selfishness and your wickedness, decided to stay quiet. Everybody that was part of the sorority knows in their heart that they formed an opinion that something went down on that beach that night.